Good day, this is Thumbs United. We are gonna do some more Halo. Kinda didn't know what I was gonna do for today's stream for the multitasking. Because you can't just have fun. You have to have, computer rendering in the background or doing something. So, and this wasn't intentional, but over the past, 2 or 3 weeks, technically months, it was more like 3 or 4 months, I've been, I wanted to bring back daily animation with new content. Right now it's kind of going through the archives of the old renders and everything on Twitter and on the Instagram and I believe also the Facebook page. But I wanted to make new content and I wanted it to be very kind of like organic CGI. So instead of having like a mountain and then like partially rendering a mountain and then having like pre-rendered assets in the background as a skybox, I wanted to make huge amounts of like scenery and everything that spanned really far away, and which kind of goes away from the more game design of making your skybox relatively small and only loading low resolution and polygons. And even though it's like today with next gen Xbox One and PS4, it's still kind of lower polygon than you would think. It's just there's a lot of smoothing and the poly count is higher, but in terms of like what you would actually see in a movie or something, video games still haven't really caught up. But the engines for video games have they've become very good at cheating and making lower res assets look higher res. But so I wanted to do projects where I'm also working with human characters inside of these real environments, these high resolution environments, high resolution human characters. And then I wanted to do like not just one or two, but like several characters in a scene, so that when I render it, I can just move the camera around and focus on different things. And that way, like each environment I make, will will get the most bang for its buck. So that's kind of what I did earlier today, and so I just started the render, so we're gonna see if it works. Hopefully it does. But it's kind of... Oh my goodness! I forgot what it was like to play this game. I'm playing with my fun skulls on, so I'm not really doing it with... like I am playing it on easy. But like I have unlimited ammo. Everybody throws grenades exponentially more often, grunts explode, and the damage from explosions are twice the force and go twice the distance. Oh my goodness. So there's going to be a lot of dying, but the good news is that the dying is going to be more humorous. So we're here to have fun.
If we're going to catch truth, we'll need to take a shortcut straight through the mausoleum. Look on the bright side. For now, they seem much more interested in killing each other.
Not really, they seem pretty interested in killing me. Just found the way by accident. Oh, and the other thing is the physics are altered. So the physics are altered, so geometry that's kind of freestanding will oh my goodness. Will that leave me alone? I got it. I got him. I think I killed my PC, but we'll see. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's funny because doing the video renders, the processor never really goes beyond, 40 or 50%. Usually stays around 30. And blast everyone to oblivion. Come on, Hunter. Just trying to blast him over the edge. He's like still surviving. Maybe I'll get back in. I'm sorry if I don't respond in chat. My PC is it's having trouble loading the web browser and everything because it's rendering. But like I was saying, the renders usually take like video renders.
You might consider sitting this one
Of
out.
just rendering video, no animation, no. I mean, you can do a slight amount of animation, but just two-dimensional stuff takes like 30 to 40% of the processor, but it takes like 100% of the hard drive, and it doesn't take that much RAM. Rendering with Blender takes like maybe 500. It's about 512. Sometimes it's 250 megabytes. With 4K, it goes up to like almost a gigabyte of RAM. It doesn't take much. The slowest part of rendering video is the hard drive access speed, and so that's why it doesn't take that much RAM. Because it's just waiting on the hard drive for so long for each. Okay, this just got ridiculously overpowered. Run away! If I die here, this will be like very embarrassing. Seriously. Okay. I think somebody just dropped down from here. Thought they dropped down. My motion tracker's not showing anything.
Two more transponders. Commander and Johnson. They're closing on Truth's position, Chief. They'll need your help. This way, Chief.
Where is she attacking her? Whoa! Running.
Good. I am getting confirmed reports of flood leaving in Amberclad's wreckage. Let's get the index and find a way out of here before things get really ugly.
So going back to CGI rendering, 3D rendering with models, and essentially rendering like for a video game and cinema, for like like Pixar stuff and Industrial Light and Magic Star Wars stuff. That takes a huge amount of processing power from the CPU. like right now I'm doing a high-res environment with like a medium polygon. That's polygons are kind of how you determine the resolution of a 3D object. The more polygons it has, it's like working with more megapixels, but in three-dimensional space. There's more definition in the character or object, and that could be a tree, that could be the ground, terrain, and things like that. But the more the polygons, the more difficult, like the exponentially more difficult it is for the computer to process, because it has to process for each pixel, each path of light that reaches that one pixel. So what I'm doing now is I was going to use Lux Render, and I went to go download it to get the most recent update. I go to the website and they're like, we've moved on to something else. We're doing LuxCore. And I was like, what? And so it's still in like beta. And I was like, so you can't really download LuxCore. I mean, you can for Windows and for Linux, but you can't for Mac. And I was trying to do these tests, you know, on the Mac because the people doing construction in our house were working, you know, right around where my office is, so I didn't want to be in there and keep running into everyone.
Have betrayed us, the counselors.
Grenade is right. I don't know where that brute went, but I'll be seeing ya. I'm looking for like a brute shot. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where they're looking from. But so I went to Lux Render, and before their application, it works very well with Blender. And what Lux Render is it's a physical-based light engine. So it actually, you know, computes the physical light traveling within your environment. And so the images are extremely realistic. Oh, sorry. I thought you were... I forgot we're friends with the elites. I'm so used to fighting them in Halo 1. But, the grunts are our friends too. Switch into plasma grenades. But, anyway, so as you can imagine, actually, you know, computing the physics behind light is extremely computationally intensive. It's more intensive than ray tracing, which is kind of like, used to be one of the harder ways to render. Oh, I forgot. The grunts are our friend. I'm so used to them fighting us and playing as the Master Chief. The Master Chief. Like a brute shot. Where is? Whoa! Oh, I landed on top of one. I do not need the energy sword. And I have unlimited ammo, which is why I wanted the brute shot early on. Whoa! Oh my goodness! And so everybody throws more grenades, including your allies. And so if you're by the enemy, sometimes a stray grenade from your friend will get you. Oh. See, they were all the dead grunts, and they explode when they die. Dude, here. I really wish there was a sprint option. Okay. Well, let's go get them. We have to be thorough. Did you get the other guy? We can leave no brute to tell the tale. We're following this invisible elite. So rendering with Lux Render is extremely difficult because it's kind of like working with Bitcoin. Almost like I wish I set up Bitcoin servers early on. I'm sorry, I accidentally killed my elite. I thought he was a brute. But oh my goodness. Okay.
They never stood a chance, eh, Arbiter?
I guess not. That's what you came to tell me? Let's
Advance on their position.
Why is it? Okay.
Open your jaws and swallow this.
Whoa! Whoa! Oh, and the other skull I have on is the brutes. When they go berserk, they eventually explode. That's why you see them exploding. There's nothing around them. What? See, that I was just telling you how the brutes explode when they go berserk. We're just gonna jump down. Oh my goodness, so many grenades! Oh, I'm not gonna survive. Oh, I knew it. Let's be more. Did we really just get everyone? Okay. The carbine. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, this is perfect. I was just gonna say we needed a rocket launcher, but a fuel rod gun is just as good. I don't even know what happened. Everything was going fine. Probably needed that ghost.
Atoms. Hostile ghosts.
Do I want the shotgun? Yes.
Good to get exercise.
Do I though?
We destroyed them.
I guess so. Come on, friend. Let's go. You coming? Want to get on the top? I guess you're not going. Do. I'm getting stuck. Flip, ghost, flip. My friends finally started. Finally caught up with his ghost. Anyway, I never finished telling the story. So Lux Render, it's a physically based rendering engine. It calculates, the physics of light, and it's kind of like Bitcoin, where you leave your server or your PC, whatever you're rendering on, whatever you want to call it. My Linux boxes. You just have it render, and it will pretty much render for infinity. And the longer you let it render, the crisper and clearer and better looking the image will become. But it takes so long between steps, and so that's why you could really leave it on forever, and it will continually make the image better. So there's a workaround where you can say, once the pixel quality becomes this, then you stop rendering. So it's very good for individual images, but it's not good for animation at all, because you can spend a decent computer or server, you can have it spend 40 minutes per frame, like a high-end server and or workstation, 40 minutes per frame, and that's just for HD. But that doesn't really work with 4K or 8K. But and that's with a medium resolution environment, a medium polygon count environment. And so I was like, I went to their website, and they said they're doing this thing called LuxCore, which they're taking all the source code they've had for Lux Render, and they're kind of removing it and starting over and making it better and everything. They kind of started from scratch again, is what they said on the website. And I was like, oh. And not only that, they don't have the archives of the old Lux Render. So what's coming out is LuxCore, and you can go and you can download it now. I'm sure it's somewhat stable, but they didn't have it for the Mac. And so, like I said, I was under doing construction in my house, so I didn't have access to my PC, and I was like, I'll just do it on my laptop, create these environments, and then I can do test renders on the Mac, and then, you know, once my PC is ready, I can submit the job and have it render there. But no, it was just, you know, we have Linux support, we have Windows support, but no Mac support. So I was like, and then I was like, you know what? I'll just use Blender's cycle engine, which I've had mixed problems with. But when you're using different render engines and everything, especially for CGI, it materials are the hardest part, and that is like image textures and things like that. Mainly just image textures, but materials in general. So if we want to like water isn't an image material. It's a combination of like reflection and transparency and stuff, and then a little bit of animation to get the reflections to change. And so you can't like get a good picture of water and then say, you know, this is you can do like an image texture from that. I mean, you could if you're doing still photography. I mean, still CGI rendering, but it doesn't work with video. And so I was like, well, so I created the scene, and I used some of the old assets that I never published, and then I was like, okay, I'll do cycles. And so I got the scene up and running. The environment was loaded. It's like a medium high, medium kind of high, what is the word? Resolution landscape, CGI landscape, and then like a low polygon character model. And so kind of the challenge was going to be you know, lighting the environment pretty well, and then lighting the model well, but not and making the lighting look like it make it, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to go on foot. So much explosions. Run and hide! Everyone's shooting at me! Normally I take... Oh my goodness! So, with... I forgot what I was saying. It was all too exciting, I lost my train of thought. But so I got all the assets ready. I imported all the object data. I use a combination of Poser, View, it's VUE, which does the environments, and I do the environments in, and then I bring it all together in Blender and render there because I have more options for render engines and light engines, which are the same thing, but you just have more options because then once it's in Blender, as working in Blender, then I can have it render on Linux, I can have it render on Windows, I can render it on the Mac. With View, I can only render on Mac and Windows, and then with Poser, I can only render on Windows. And so, you know, that gets expensive. Ooh, a turn. Ain't no way. Take this tank down one grenade at a time. And those brutes are like helping me. Oh man. Maybe I was like a little too ambitious. We'll do this the other way. We will take down the Okay, that didn't work. Okay, please don't explode on me. Okay, I think this worked out much better. Is there anyone else? I will bring the tank. I can't. I will park it right here so that if anyone shows up, I can just drop down and get it. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like game scripting where I was like, this character showed up here, so release the enemy. Ooh. I think there's a rocket launcher here somewhere. Yes. And I don't need the ammo. Oh my goodness. I hope there's an easy way I can get up. And there isn't. I gotta go all the way through. Do 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 do. Going all the way back. So cycles in Blender was giving me a headache. Like I spent maybe 3 or 4 hours just, you know, kind of banging my head at the monitor. And finally, like all the textures were working except for like the most important one, and that was the skybox, which is actually a sky dome. Hello. And you know, the skybox won't work. So that's how you that's how you know, have the sun, the clouds, it's all rendered into like a sphere, and then your environment, your landscape, and your character models are all inside the sphere, and then that sphere, and then you don't have to like compute the you don't have to like compute the entire sky, which is really difficult to do. You only have to do it once, and then it doesn't matter what camera angle it is because it's inside the sphere. When the camera, looks to the left, it looks at the left side of the sphere. So it's very much like working with VR. But that's what the skybox is. And that part wouldn't work, and I was like, this has to work. So I was like searching YouTube, Google, everywhere.
By the rings,
and
Arbiter.
everyone had like, on all the forums, they're like, let's do this, this, and this. And I was like, it's not working.
The prophets were
It's not
fools to
working.
trust them.
So I finally figured it out, and none of the websites. I mean, the answers they were giving the people that had asked the question were like correct for that person, but it wasn't specific to my problem. So what happened was when I import all the meshes and everything from all the other programs, they would automatically be assigned the correct texture. But for whatever reason, the skybox, when it was assigned to the dome, it just would not, assign the texture to it. So I would delete the dome, create a new dome, and try to assign the image file, the image texture file to that. It just never worked. So what it ended up being was I applied the image texture, and I said link this to the sphere, which will be the sky dome. And then eventually it and so even though it was linked to the sky dome, the image wasn't being projected onto the sky dome, and I was like, why is this even an option? If you're
You finish what I started, and this time, none of you will be left behind.
That structure in the center of the city, it's a Forerunner ship. And Truth is heading straight for it. If he leads the Covenant fleet to Earth, they won't stand a chance. You have to stop him.
That brute has the index. And Miranda and Johnson. He can activate the ring.
If he does, I'll detonate in Emberclad's reactor just like we did the Autumns. The blast will destroy this city and the ring. Not a very original plan, but we know it'll work. No, I don't want to chance a remote detonation. I need to stay here.
not fair. Don't leave Cortana behind. Do. But,
Flood-controlled dropships are touching down all over the city. That creature beneath the library, that grave mine, used us. We were just diversions. In amber-clad was always its intended vector. There's a conduit connecting this tower to the ship. Head back inside. I'll lead you to it.
is there like... I knew there'd be a rocket launcher. Okay. So yeah, so it was just so funny because it was like, why would you allow a if you're going through the settings and adding a texture, why would you not actually apply the texture to the geometry you're setting up? And so that was just it. It would say, okay, this texture file, belongs to this geometry, but we're not going to put the texture on the geometry. And so once I figured that out, that was the option. And it doesn't, like, I'm explaining it, like, really simplified. It doesn't say that. It's not like a simple map to. It was just, you gotta go through and say, put this on that object. But it was it wasn't worded like that at all. It was just like, no one, nobody would ever found this. And so once I figured that out, the skybox was finished, and so I just so that was like at like 5 p.m. And then I came home in about an hour before the stream. I was just doing different camera angles and but yeah, so I started animating and just like one character pose and then just moving the camera around the environment and everything. And then playing with different focal lengths. I got to work with like impossible camera settings of having like an aperture of 1.1, which is like, I'm sure there is a lens that you can get 1.1, but it's like, it would be $1 billion. And so I played around with that. And then the other thing I was doing was, when you render, you still have to worry, think about what sensor size you're going to be using for the 3D environment. And changing the sensor size kind of changes the scale. And in addition to the sensor size, you have the virtual lens, which affects the viewing angle. So if it's a wide angle shot or a telephoto shot, that you adjust that by kind of changing the millimeter of the virtual lens, and then that changes the view angle. But in addition to that, you can choose your own sensor size. So you could make a sensor. Virtual sensor like 3 feet by 3 feet, and it will calculate what that sensor would capture an image look like, and so normally you would just use like 35mm virtual sensor, but I was like, you know what, let's try like a medium format size, so 80mm sensor. So I did that, and I did a couple of I don't even know what got me. So I did a couple of like 6 or 7 angle changes. I like moving the camera around, and then I did a different like different millimeters. So like 80mm lens, 250mm lens, and then I tried a whole bunch of apertures of like 1.1, 5.6, 16. An f-stop of 16 and 32. And so I'm playing with depth of field and everything. And we'll see how it turns out. But doing kind of the test renders, it seemed pretty good. A creepy flood. There's one section where there's this flood hiding with the rocket launcher.
The security
So we have
systems in this
to...
part of the tower are particularly robust.
Whosoever is gripped by fear, take heed. I am the prophet. Noble mercies. Wise counsel ready with my
There he is! I told you he was here somewhere. Thank goodness he had, you know, some semblance of self-preservation. Okay, thank goodness I survived.
Apparently these are the Prophet Hierarch's private quarters, their inner sanctum.
The inner sanctum. Oh no. This is dreadful. At least it's coming back down. Please don't squish me. Please don't squish me. Okay. I'll stop moving around.
This crisis will not be the end of us. It is but one last hurdle before the journey and the salvation.
Open door. Please open. Is there somebody else? Now will you open? Thank you.
Brood and elite ships are engaging one another all around High Charity. I'm running out of options, Chief. I can't stall the launch sequence much longer. The next lift will take you up to the conduit. Hurry!
We're gonna lose Cortana. Cortana.
I knew the Covenant was good at repurposing Forerunner technology, but this is amazing. They've been using the Forerunner ship's engines as an energy source for the city. The ship isn't so much launching as it is disengaging, uncoupling itself from High Charity's power grid. Stopping Truth, that's all that matters.
Now is the time of our unworldly. Momentum shall be
We might finish this tonight.
You know the plan. You've got to stop Truth. I've got to handle the Index. Go!
If you would falter, know this. One
Oh.
final effort.
Chief, when you get to Earth, good luck.
After I'm through with Truth.
Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it.
totally come back. Spoiler alert for Halo 3. Well, he doesn't really come back. She comes to him, more like it. The Great Journey. I think we'll finish Halo 2 right now.
What is that place? Where the counselors were meant to watch the consecration of the Icon. The start of the Great Journey.
There is still time to stop the key from turning.
I must get inside. Then mount up, Arbiter. I know a way to break those doors.
Go destroy some stuff. Kaboom! That slow tank. Are you ramming me? Throwing grenades. Oh no, I hit the wrong button. I was like trying to reload. I don't know why I'm trying to reload in a tank. Doing this. Who is still here? It works out well. Because I would like his brute shot. Where did he drop it? Where did he drop it? I thought you had a sword. So many explosions. Too much. Too much.
Now we know for sure.
There we go. Oh my goodness. Hopefully. Please don't blast me, hunters. Whoa. Everyone's like so grenade happy. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of construction in my office after this. I have to... what? What? I have to move my Linux boxes around. Which is getting easier and easier to do each time they say. They keep requesting. Oh no. But each time they say, oh, we need to get behind. And they're shelving. I'm like, okay. And they're like, this is the last time. I'm like, okay, good. This is like the 4th time I've had to do it. Which is fine, I'm not complaining, I want the work done. Oh my goodness. It is a miracle I'm alive. An absolute miracle. I saw my own grenade flying back at me. I guess I didn't get to live for that much longer. Look at this. The explosion. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, hunters. Okay. Let's continue on. Oh my goodness. Those drones are like so annoying. That was like very cathartic. Just lobbing grenades at them. Okay, what are my options? I can exchange it for a needler. I don't think there's anything better down here. release all the prisoners first. And I was killed by a berserker. I stand by the neither. Well, no. What I'll do. I will snipe. Not really snipe. Oh my goodness. That escalated pretty fast. Okay, we're gonna go and get the brute shot. I almost survived. I made it to the door at least. I don't even know what happened. I don't even know what happened. There's nobody even in this. Oh my goodness. I don't know, I always have a challenge with this spot, even without all the skulls on. Okay, so it's me. I'm the problem. It's my own brute shot that's killing me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run away. Release that guy. Okay. I'll let them fight for a little while. And then they can bottleneck over there. Okay, was that everyone? And that just goes to prove that sometimes running and hiding is the best course of action. There was a bug. Master Chief Collection came out, and they fixed it because already the bug would have happened, but it's just the cutscene would never trigger.
We're all gonna die.
If there was like, if one of the brutes fell off the edge of that thing, they could survive and hit the ground. But the only way this cutscene would play is if all the brutes from that area are dead. So you'd have to like go through the whole map to get back down there, and then kill the brute, and then the cutscene won't start till all the brutes are dead and you're back up here. That was like the most aggravating bug ever.
Take my Banshee, Arbiter.
I will. I will take your Banshee.
How do you like it?
Success. Success. Oh, no. I was gonna say my ghost is in good condition, but it's not. The theatrical music and the overactive horns. I need these. She would be somewhere. New one, even though I pretty much cleared everyone out. There we go. What? More people? Oh, and there's this other bug. I didn't fix it. But, there's supposed to be 2 tanks. So for whatever reason, this tank always spawns falling upside down.
Stay clear of the door. Hey, fast.
Okie dokie.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock. Here we go. We're almost at the end. You know, it has been a lot of fun. I'm playing Halo 2 and Halo 3 with all these extra skulls. I would occasionally play with like 1 or 2 skulls on, just to mix it up. But the joke of it was, a lot of the skulls I found, it turns out you could scroll down on the skull list. Like you could scroll like left to right. I didn't realize like there were a whole other set of skulls that were like beneath the page, and so most of these skulls I didn't know were there. And I'm sad to say that Halo 3 and Halo 4 don't have a lot of the skulls that we're using, like unlimited ammo, and the grunts don't explode as much. That isn't an option. I already tried to find those, but so Halo 3 and Halo 4 will be traditional.
And do as you are told.
Please use caution. This reclaimer is delicate.
One more word, Oracle, and I'll rip your eye from its socket. Which is nothing compared to what I'll do to you.
Tartarus, stop.
Impossible.
Put down the icon.
Put it down and disobey the hierarchs?
There are things about Halo even the hierarchs do not understand.
Take care, Arbiter. What you say is heresy.
Is it? Oracle, what is Halo's purpose?
Collectively, the seven.
Not another word.
Please. Don't shake the light bulb. If you want to keep your brain inside your head, I tell those boys to chill. Go ahead. Do your thing.
The sacred rings, what are they?
Weapons of last resort, built by the Forerunners to eliminate potential flood hosts, thereby rendering the parasite harmless.
And those who made the rings? What happened to the Forerunners?
Why would they store the flood on the rings that were there to destroy everyone?
They and all additional sentient life in 3 radii of the galactic center died as planned. Would you like to see the relevant data?
Tartarus, the prophets have betrayed us.
No, Arbiter.
That was like a solid hit to the head.
The great journey has begun. And the brutes, not the elite, shall be the prophet's escort.
Dude. So we should have a lot of unlimited ammo. And unlimited grenades. Grenades. Oh no, and I fell off completely. I was like overzealous. I kind of want to do this as quickly as possible just to see if, I'm like, oh no. They threw me over the edge. I didn't jump. They threw me over. I'll try this one.
We'll shut them down.
Dude.
Quit stalling.
Oh no. Literally the blast from the grenade threw me over. This is embarrassing. Just plain old embarrassing.
Well, I hope you're everything they say you are.
Did you hear that? Oh no! I am not. That elite just said, well, Arbiter, I hope you are everything they say you are. And clearly I'm not. Maybe there's like a rocket launcher somewhere. Anywhere. I could use a rocket or two by now. I don't see you firing, Johnson. Start using the levels like you are meant to. Don't know where he is. Where is he? Is this dude Tartarus? Come on, Johnson. Thank goodness. Teamwork. Let's get this cutscene started. Just in time, too. Just in time. You guys are about to see the worst cliffhanger ever. Just wasn't nice at all.
With the frequency
Communicating with what?
the other installations.
Show me.
Fail-safe protocol. In the event of unexpected shutdown, the entire system will move to standby status. All remaining platforms are now ready for remote activation.
Remote activation? From here?
Don't be ridiculous.
Listen, Tinkerbell, don't make me...
Then where? Where would someone go to activate the other rings?
Why the Ark? Of course.
And where, Oracle, is that?
Worst cliffhanger ever.
Got a new contact. Unknown
Like,
classification.
I remember being in
This is one of
elementary
ours.
school.
Take it out.
This is
And,
Spartan 117.
You were so excited for Halo 2
Isolate
coming
that
out.
signal.
Halo 1 had been out
Master
for a
Chief,
couple of years.
You mind telling me what you're
And,
doing on that ship?
I was in 7th or 8th grade.
Sir,
I think it was 7th grade
finishing this fight.
when Halo 2 came out, and so like we all kind of, it came out and we were having competitions on who could beat Halo 2 fastest, and so we would like my friends would like come up and like try to spoil each level as they were playing it, each day. And so finally the one kid was like, I beat the game. You won't believe the ending. And so then my other friend and I started playing. Well, like finished the game. I was just like, are you kidding me? That is the worst, cliffhanger ever. Just the Master Chief landing on Earth, saying, not even landing, coming into Earth's orbit.
Now that
We're gonna finish the fight.
But my mind is not at rest, for questions linger on. I will ask, and you will answer.
All right. Shoot.
So I want to thank everyone for coming by. This was the video game stream. I'm doing another one Thursday. We'll be moving on to Halo 3, and I'll see what skull combinations we can come up with. But I think the most bombastic gameplay has already been had with Halo 1 and Halo 2. But Halo 3 is a lot of fun on its own. So we'll be doing that Thursday. And then tomorrow is creative. We're going to be continuing editing the 35mm black and white film. Like I have been over the weekend and yesterday. And then yeah, so Wednesdays and Fridays are dedicated creative days. Tuesdays and Thursdays is dedicated to video games. And then during production crunch, I stream Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, which we're still in production crunch. So I want to thank everyone for coming out. I hope to see everyone tomorrow for creative. And yeah, see everyone tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye.